Hey, so I just finished my warm-up set for flat dumbbell bench with 70, going up to a working set of 85s. And what I realized this morning is that I'm using my two favorite things. I'm using this Kensui Fitness Adaptabell Pro, or I think it's Adaptabell Max, maybe. Yeah, Adaptabell Max. It's the aluminum 36 millimeter knurled system. And, you know, they come with these, which you can get up to 80s on. But I don't really like, you know, I would do that for rows. I prefer having the longer ones. So I'm just changing out, going up to my working weight. So I thought I'd show you guys a couple of things. First of all, on the Adaptabell, here's the ones they come with. I don't know why, but these take forever to get. I ordered them with a bunch of other stuff, and it took these, everything else came in, and then these came in 3 months later. And when they did come in, they're like nothing like the originals. These are proper, knurled. For some reason, these have holes in them as though they, you know, you're gonna release them with a spanner wrench or something. And they also have this taper to them with what appears to be threads on the inside. I don't understand that. But the edge of this was so sharp that it cut my little rags where I assemble everything at. It cut my foam mats at my other gym. And I don't know, I don't know, I guess only Kensui knows why they do that, because it certainly doesn't make sense to me. So I ran them on my belt sander and took that sharp edge off. And then I ran them on my bandsaw and cut in little knurls so that I can grip them. I highly recommend doing that. It transformed the device. So here we go. I warmed up with 70. I'm going to go up to 85. So taking a 5-pounder off there, adding a 10 and a 2.5. So we're kind of going heavy for me anyway. And now that's when you need the long ones. I was not able to do that. I was kind of maxed out at 80s before. I can get 80s, but as you can see, man, you do not have a lot of corkscrew grip in that thing. Maybe okay for rows. I don't know if I'd want to do overhead bench with it of any kind. But now that I've finally got these in, you know, I can add a bunch of plates. Now, you see a lot of people on YouTube. By the way, the long max handles here are a lot smoother. I don't know what they did differently, but they definitely run smoother than the originals. You see a lot of people running these with their adapters and using 2-inch Olympic plates, whether they be metal or like bumper plates or whatever. My whole intent in doing this was absolutely not that. I've had every kind of adjustable dumbbell set you can have. I've worked out in you know, pro gyms and all that stuff, and everybody loves the way a pro dumbbell feels. The balance seems to be better. I mean, they have their own drawbacks, but like they're always loosening up and stuff. But I love pro dumbbells. I have a full set of hex dumbbells. I've got a full set of power blocks up to 90. I've had the Iron Masters up to 120 in the past. And I'll agree with another YouTuber that said that the Iron Master is, back if I go in the late 90s or 2000s, it was the best system. No question about it. For a home gym. Closest thing to an adjustable pro dumbbell set. But the width of the handle was so wide, it was like you had two barbells, and you know, it would kind of, you'd have to grip it perfectly or find like a tennis racket grip on it somehow to keep it from making your wrist wonky. So too wide really. And also the square plates seem to throw off my balance with it a little bit. Whereas with this system, with using the Kensui handles, with both either the long or the short corkscrew ends and pro dumbbell plates, it's just perfect. Now, who is it not for? well, somebody that wants to be fast. Clearly, you see it takes time to set this up. Not the fastest thing in the world, but you know, I have a home gym. I'm not holding anybody up except me, and I like messing with my gear that I kind of come up with. If I wanted to go, if you're trying to follow a video series, you know, like some Beachbody program, like a perfect example is P90X. I love P90X. I've done P90X for years. I've run the full system many times. And that's the original reason why I sold my Ironmaster set and went to Power Blocks, is because it took me too long on the old screw type Ironmaster set to keep up with the DVD. Whereas with the Power Blocks, I could quick swap them and stay either up to speed with the DVD or even get ahead. And if you've ever done P90X, you know Tony Horton, all of his great dad jokes in there and stuff. I love it. I mean, kind of out of fashion now with the old full screen and whatever music they use, but I'll still do it to this day. I still do plyo. I still do Yoga X. It's amazing. But I like lifting now, so here we go. We're going up for a working set. Let's see, I'm gonna try to get, okay, I'm all the way up to 85. Try to do 3 by 6, depending on how it feels. But the whole point is to illustrate under working weight how awesome these Mad Spotter hooks work. As an older guy, I'm 50, I've had a lot of injuries over the years, constantly, you know, and some of those came from working out in the gym. Some of them, you know, I raced motocross, and, you know, I've had a wonderful time and lots of great stories, and they all come with injuries and sometimes surgeries to boot. So, especially in my shoulders. So, whenever I used to, you know, use and get the dumbbells up by bouncing them off my knees, from about right here to right here, it's only about 6 to 8, maybe 10 degrees of motion, but my shoulders are very weak, little snowflakes. They can lift a lot, but you get them in a certain angle, and I have the propensity to get hurt. And these Mad Spotter hooks solve that problem. If I would have had these things 25 years ago, I would have saved myself probably 2 rotator cuff tears, or you know, I had frozen shoulder for a long time. I would have probably saved myself a lot of injuries that take a long time to get over. So I love this stuff, and it has allowed me, prior to buying these, the most I would dumbbell bench was 55. And it's not, I mean, I could lift up to 90, but I'm just not willing to, you know, hold that weight right here in that vulnerable position when I could just go to a barbell and save myself the risk because it comes right off the J hooks. Well, that's what this is doing. So check it out. So I position myself a little bit down. I'm gonna, all right, kind of get my schedule set up. All right, this is gonna be really heavy for me. I'm actually on a cut, so doing 85 when I'm down on calories that's why I'm only doing 6. Here we go. All right, went for 7. That got a little scary, seriously. But I should have stopped at 6. I knew that, but I felt pretty good. But that's the great thing is I knew I was very motivated. If I can get over this hook, I'm safe, and I did. So I'm sticking to 6 next time. But that's a quick demonstration of how the Mad Spotter hooks work. And you know, they just kind of stay with the dumbbell handle. And man, I'm telling you what, they work great. They keep me safe. As you can see, I lift by myself. And you know, having the safety of getting that thing over the hook kept me from having to drop the dumbbells, damage my floor, probably would have broke the Kensui's if I'd have dropped that. So, and one thing I'll also mention real quick is the barbell. I have kind of all new barbells. So they're all the knurling is good. I had an old Rogue, Ohio that was worn out. I bought it from a CrossFit gym and completely restored it. And the one thing that I can't restore is the knurling. The knurling was worn out. So I originally started using this with that Rogue, Ohio, because that knurling is eventually going to eat up this rubber. So I have got more aggressive barbells. You know, like that one, that's a 29 millimeter, and it's got a lot more aggressive stippling or knurling, which I much prefer. But I have this, I think this is an X Mark crowbar, and it's kind of like a, you know, X Mark's answer to the Rogue, Ohio, if you ask me. But the knurling isn't as aggressive, so I always try to use my least aggressive knurled bar so I don't tear this up quite so much. All right, one last thing is whenever you break these down, I still got 2 more sets, but I'll show you how to break these down real quick. The easiest way to do it is don't try to unscrew these. Use the leverage of your weights and just twist it. That's all it takes. Now one side broke, this side broke. Now I'm going to hold this here, grab this over here, and twist it. So now these are broken loose. Once I get it that way, I roll it up on its edge and everything comes apart easy. All right, there you go. So kind of a review of 2 products. The Kensui Adaptabell Max, I think it's called, the aluminum 36 millimeter. I was very concerned that the 36 millimeter diameter was going to be too big. As it turns out, I love it. They do work with the mat spotter hooks, but you do have to modify the mat spotter hooks a little bit. As you can see, I took the rubber nipples off because with those nipples there, that bar would not fall down all the way and get into the base. So I took the nipples off, and then I took my roll lock disc and a file and kind of rolled off the edge to kind of get it out of the way. And the reason for that is because even once I took the nipples off, you can kind of see it would bite in. Right here is a good example. It would kind of bite into that knurling. And so that's why I'm like, I don't even want to do that. I'm just going to roll that off a little bit so that it kind of falls away from the handle, and that kind of fixed it. So between these 2 products, that's what is allowing an old man to still lift heavy. Pretty cool. So I will set this back up for my next 2 sets and let you guys go. But for anybody that has interest, I will tell you that, you know, Kensui shipping time, you know, go look on Trustpilot. There's some various reviews on there about, you know, and it happened to me, these extended, you know, screws, you have to buy separate. I think they're worth it. You do need both sets. If you need these for when you're going a lot of plates super heavy, you need the short ones. Even with the short ones, you can't even build a 20 with 2 10-pound plates because even the short corkscrews hit inside the handle. So that's why I strongly recommend, if you want a full set, that you have 2 sets of 5s. Because the way you will build a 10 is by stacking 2 5s with the handle instead of putting 1 10, because these hit together inside the handle, even the short ones. I think Kensui made the best, you know, kind of rode the average and provided the best solution. They have a short handle set where you just have to just buy some extra 5s and you'll be good. And then once you go up to the long ones, you know, you can get up to 80, 90, and 100 pounders. But, you know, I ordered the long corkscrew things. When I ordered everything else, I ordered 2 sets. And these took 3 months to come in. Okay, you know, that's fine. But when I would eat, I didn't realize that. It said they were in stock on their website, and clearly it wasn't in stock. And then I emailed them, and they emailed me back 3 separate times. I emailed them 3 separate times, like, hey, like, what is going on? And the reason why I kept emailing them is because they kept lying to me, saying, oh, we redesigned them. They're going to be in next week. And then they didn't, then they didn't, then they didn't. They never shipped. And once you email them enough times, they just stop responding. You know, that's kind of crappy, man. Just be honest with the customer. I would have been like, oh, okay, well, that sucks, but I get it. But the fact that they kind of lead you along and don't really treat the customer with enough respect to be truthful with them, trying to protect their own interest to keep sales. If they spend as much on customer service as they do on advertising, which clearly that they are a 120% budget advertising company, they would be better served, I think, because they make a good product. So it was disappointing when the mission statement was incomplete, when they basically gave me the runaround on these things. They came in 3 months later. They're great. It's a good product. I wish the customer service team wouldn't deliberately mislead people, which is exactly what they did. It's not even defendable. If you go on Trustpilot, there's a million other comments like that. I experienced the same thing. So, Kensui, if you're listening, stop that, man. Just be honest. Fitness people talk to each other. And you're getting a bad reputation, not based on the product, not based on the mousetrap, but you withholding the truth from the customer out of fear that they won't order if there's an extended lead time. Well, if there's an extended lead time because you're having production problems, that is what it is. You should still be honest with the customer and tell them that. Pretty simple. Because I would order them again. I would. Despite my annoyance with that, I have another set of these, and I can go heavy. They're in my other gym at my cabin. And I'll probably order them, but now I know they're probably not going to be in for 3 months, so I'll just say, well, okay, they'll be in at Christmas time, and that's fine. I don't care. I got another pair for now. I mean, you can accept that if the company's truthful with you at the start. All right, have a great day. Catch you later.